Hi everyone, welcome to Code Conyo. So today I am going to demonstrate to you how to create our own um, set functions. So why we do this? Because it has been, as a programmer or a computer science students, we don't settle only on using built-in functions. So in order for us to really become a good at it, uh, become successful as a programmer, we have to know how to create, or we'll have to simulate or reverse engineer whatever has been like created or built by the programmers in a certain language. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that if we are able to reverse engineer a certain function or a certain ADT or a certain class, so we do that because it is one way, or it is actually one of the ways to really learn uh, how to really develop our programming, our logic to become really competitive. Okay, so this time let's create a class and let's say my own set. Okay, so let's create a function or a class, rather, my own set, and we're going to invoke some of the theories in our program. So let's say for an instance, we have here, uh, let's declare two sets. So let's say we have here A. So we're just going to use primitive type integers. So let's have here 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, and then let's have here 11. And then let's have another here. Let's say B, right? So let's have here 2, 4, 5, 7, 12, and let's say 15. Okay. And then okay, so this time we are going to create our own function or method that does the same with union of sets. So union of sets again is going to combine two sets together and display those elements that are combined. So this time I am going to have here, let's say, a function. By the way, in Java, you can either declare or create a function with something that returns a value or something that does not. So when we talk about a value that does not return any, or a function or a method that does not return any value, you will have to declare it with like void. So let's say we have here void union. Okay, and then let's have here the let's say A. Okay, this is the parameter, a formal parameter for the array A, and then let's also have another formal parameter for our set B. Okay, and then this time, if we are going to call this right there in our program, so this would require us two parameters, particularly A and B. By the way, you can also use here X and Y. It depends on you, no? So we have here, let's say B. So just for us uh, so that we're able to, to not at least pilit na ma-confuse, we're gonna be using the same sets of variables. So this time we're going to call union. So by the way, in Java also notice that there is this what we call static and non-static method. So one of the examples in static method is like void main. So static method is a class member. So meaning to say you can directly call this particular method by uh, directly calling it using with the class name without actually instantiating an object. So I'll give you two examples here. So let's say I have here, I'll declare one here. Let's say string union 1 and string union 2. Okay. So, and then I'll have here, by the way, I'll return anything here. So I just return here, this is union. Okay, this is union. All right. And then I'll declare another one which is static. So this time I'll have here declared as static. So we have here union 3. All right. So this will return static. Okay. So the difference between, again, this one muna. So the difference between void and with any, I mean, a function that has a type is it is going to return. You'll have to return it with what type you specified for that function. So right here, if you guys want to call like union, okay, union one and union two, you will need to create an object of your Java. So particularly, you have to do this one. My own set, let's say, we have here set is equal to new, my own set, all right? And let's call that one the union. So we have union one there. And then, yeah, but because it's actually void, so uh, it does not need is printing, it does not need a system dot out dot print line. So let's have here union one. Okay, so let's remove this one. Let's change this to two, and then let's have our system dot out dot print line set that union one. No, we're not gonna be putting set union one, okay, to to a print statement, because again it is a void statement. So that's one of the parang the difference between a void and a value, a void or non-value returning function or method compared to value returning function or method. So this is value returning, this returns this one, and this is non-value returning, and this is going to execute the idea of printing this one as like union one. Okay, so there, if we run our program, we would have this output union one, and this is union two. So that's the difference between uh, value returning and non-value returning. Now, how about if we are going to uh, if that is static? So would that mean, sir, that the static method can be called also by an object? Yes, but that is not recommended. So as you can notice, there is a warning message there. So it is actually an indication that the compiler does not agree on you, because the on union tree is actually a static method. So you don't have to use or call, or you don't have to use the object when you want to call or use that function. So you can directly call that, sorry, you can directly call that uh, by your or with your class. So my own set. So and that and that is why, if you're going to change it to my own set instead of the object of my own set, this will give you no warning anymore. So now, what about if I'm going to make this non-static like this, or I will call the method union one as, which is not a non-static method, and then I call it directly with the class, that name that I have here, my own set. So it's basically going to give you an error, because um, any non-static method is, or any non-static method is actually called by, or it's a member of an object, and therefore it can only be called by the our objects, not by the class itself. The only way, or the only method that you can call directly with the class is any method that is declared as static. Okay, so that's it. Now this time, let's do this one. Let's have union. So union would be easier, because all we just need to do is, let's have here int I is equal to 0. We're just going to combine the elements of two sets. So let's say we have int I is 0, I is less than the length of the A, or the cardinality of A, and we have here I plus plus. And then, so in order for us to combine this both, you can have here the string. Okay, so string in Java is a powerful date variable that allows us to concatenate the numbers and strings. So, but this time we are dealing with numbers, but again, we can, with no sweat at all, we can actually combine or concatenate the numbers with a string, unlike in C++. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We do this by this one. So we have here A, and then let's make use of I, and then let's have the separator. Okay, and then in order for us to also combine the V, let's have here another one. So this time let's have here V dot length, and let's make use of V. And since this is a value non-value returning, we'll need to display here like the hold. Okay, so I guess that's it. So the union one will read all the elements there in our what they call this one in our A set A, and it is going to concatenate it into hold. The same with B. Then since A is already concatenated, or all elements of A is already concatenated in hold, then hold in the second block of and in our loop will be also concatenating all the values or elements of that B. So that is why if we're going to run this one, we have here all the elements in our the union of two sets. However, notice that there are elements there that are like if you would like to observe, there are elements there that are repeatedly displayed. So just like 7 and 7, and then uh, what else do we have here? 5 and 5. So it must be like it must not be included in your new set now. So I'm not going to what they call this one. I'm not going to answer that because I am actually going to make that as our what they call this one as our activity. So you'll need to do that parang problem or issue sa atoang union set. Okay, so you'll be the one to do that. So by the way, if you're going to do that in this particular union of set, you just have to. We can actually copy the codes there, and we are going to return hold. So this time, pretty much the same, only that we use the non-value returning. Just return the value of hold, and this would give us the same output. Okay. So for the intersection, we'll just copy paste this one and okay. So let's have here intersect. Okay. So for the intersection, we'll need to compare each of the elements in our what they call this one in our A and B. So let's make this as A, okay, and then this will be our B, all right, and then after that we are going to compare each of the element in A to B. So we have here in A, if A is equal to uh, B, okay, B, all right. So meaning if an element of A is equal to B, then therefore it will be concatenated to hold there. So we are going to copy paste this one. So we have now two loops here, the inner loop and outer loop. So this is the inner loop. So this one is the outer loop. So this will end, I mean, the entire loop will end based on the our outer loop. So basically the loop that is going to execute faster will be the inner loop. Okay, so our parang driver here would be this outer loop. So everything will just uh, stop executing once this loop will be false. So what I have, yeah, this is like uh, this should be a, okay. So if in every element of A has the same element with B, and then we are going to concatenate it there. So yeah, this would be A rather. So I mean this will be concatenated into call. So this time we are going to call intersect here. So are we right? So let's check if we are right. So let's have here set and then intersect. Okay. So let's have here. So the intersect part is the numbers 5 and 7 is where our two sets have in common. So our intersect is actually correct. Now, another problem with our intersect here is when you have, let's say, 7 here, another 7 or element, you can actually there as a display, it would have 5, 7, and 7, which is dapat supposed to be, it's not. So the elements that is going to be yielded by the two elements after we intersect, or even with union, I mean the same thing, the same that is applied into union should be unique. Okay, so I'm not going to demonstrate that one right here because that is what I would like you to do in your activity. So I guess that would be all for now, and I hope you are able to understand the how to implement a set theory from scratch using Java language. So thank you guys for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye bye.